There are 3 mistakes that almost everyone makes at least once in their life when deciding to lose weight. But in reality, they are not mistakes, they are myths that over time have become so popular that even today many people believe in them and unknowingly sabotage their own weight loss. You will now discover each one of them. Let's go! Myth 1. Sweating more means burning more fat. The more I sweat, the more fat I'm burning. Is this true? No. Sweating a lot may give you the sensation that you are burning fat, but in reality, all that is leaving your body is water and minerals. This means that you may lose weight temporarily by sweating a lot, like in a sauna or after an intense workout, but as soon as you drink water, your weight returns to normal. The fat stays there intact. The real fat burning happens when your body uses fat as an energy source, and this has nothing to do with the amount of sweat you release. In other words, you might do a super effective workout and not sweat that much, but you're still burning fat for real. If your goal is to lose fat, focus on what really matters. Creating a calorie deficit, we'll talk about this later, and choosing exercises that increase your energy expenditure. Sweating is not synonymous with weight loss. But if the fat doesn't leave through sweat, then where does it go? This is the most interesting part. Now let's understand how fat actually leaves the body. Let's get straight to the point. When you lose weight, where does that fat go? Does it turn into muscle? Does it leave in urine? Does it disappear by magic? None of that. Think of the fat in your body like an emergency piggy bank. When you eat more than you need, your body stores this excess as fat to use later if energy runs low. It's a survival mechanism that comes from our ancestors when food wasn't as abundant. The problem is, nowadays, food is always within reach, and this piggy bank keeps getting fuller if we don't use what's stored. Now, how exactly does this fat leave? What happens inside our body? When you consume fewer calories than you burn, something called a calorie deficit, your body has to turn to the stored fat as an energy source. But it doesn't simply melt this fat. What happens is a really cool chemical process. Fat cells release triglycerides, which are broken down into fatty acids and glycerol. These components are carried through the blood and used as fuel for the body. Now comes the coolest part. Once the fat is used, it needs to leave the body somehow. And do you know how this happens? Mostly through breathing. That's right. When the fat is broken down, most of it turns into carbon dioxide, CO2, and water. So every time you exhale, you're eliminating a little bit of your fat. The rest leaves through urine and a bit through sweat, but this part is much smaller. So, the next time you're training and breathing heavily, now you know. This is literally how fat leaves your body. That's why exercises that make you breathe more, like running, weight training, and even dancing, are great allies in fat burning. Now that we've busted this first myth and understood how fat really leaves the body, can I move on to the next one? Myth 2. Does fasting before training burn more fat? A lot of people believe that training on an empty stomach makes the body burn more fat. After all, if you haven't eaten anything before the workout, where does the energy come from? It seems logical to think the body will go straight to the fat stores, right? But the truth is not quite like that. Yes, when you train on an empty stomach, your body may use a little more of the stored fat as energy. But this doesn't mean you'll lose weight faster. What really matters for fat loss is a calorie deficit throughout the day, meaning burning more calories than you consume. It's no use training on an empty stomach and then eating more than you burned. Moreover, training without eating can make you feel weak, low on energy, and even affect your performance. This means that you might not be able to train as well as you would if you had eaten beforehand. And a weaker workout might mean fewer calories burned in the end. Another important point. When the body needs energy and doesn't have carbs available, it can turn not only to fat but also to muscles. In other words, training on an empty stomach can increase the risk of losing muscle mass, and that's not good. After all, the more muscle you have, the more calories your body burns naturally. So if you like training on an empty stomach and feel good doing it, that's fine. But if you feel weak, low on energy, or notice you don't perform as well in workouts, it might be better to eat something light before training. At the end of the day, what makes a difference in fat burning is the calorie deficit, not whether or not you're fasting. Another myth broken. Now let's move on to myth 3. Does doing sit-ups burn belly fat? If you've done hundreds of sit-ups hoping to lose that belly fat, I'm sorry, but it doesn't work like that. This is one of the biggest myths about fat burning. Thinking that you can choose where the body burns fat first. The truth is, there's no such thing as spot reduction. The body decides where it will take the fat from based on genetics and hormones, not the type of exercise you do. You can train your abs every day, and still, the belly fat will remain there. Think of it like this. When you put money in a piggy bank, you can't choose which coin will come out first, right? The body works the same way. When it needs energy, it uses the stored fat, but in a general way throughout the body, not just the area you're working out. That doesn't mean abdominal exercises aren't important. They help strengthen core muscles, improve posture, and can even make your belly more defined, but only after the layer of fat on top of them decreases. And to do that, guess what? You need to focus on the calorie deficit. So if your goal is to reduce belly fat, the right path is balanced eating, workouts that burn a lot of energy like weight training and cardio, and consistency. Doing just sit-ups may strengthen muscles, but it won't make the belly fat disappear. Now that we've unraveled 3 big myths about fat burning, it's time to talk about what really makes a difference. The famous calorie deficit. Think of your body like a bank account. Every day you deposit calories by eating and spend calories living, moving, breathing, training. If you deposit more than you spend, the excess gets stored, and the way the body stores this extra energy is by turning it into fat. Now, if you spend more than you consume, the body has to dip into its reserve piggy bank, meaning the stored fat, to cover the expenses. This is what we call a calorie deficit. Basically, to lose fat, you need to burn more calories than you consume. There's no other way. It doesn't matter if you cut carbs, fast, or follow a specific diet. If there's no calorie deficit, the fat won't go away. Now, many people think they need to starve themselves to create this deficit, and that's not true. You can keep eating well, choosing nutritious foods that keep you full for longer. And of course, combine this with physical exercise to increase your calorie expenditure. This way, you lose weight without suffering and in a sustainable way. The secret isn't in crazy diets, but in maintaining this deficit consistently. If you do this, you can be sure your body will use that stored fat, and little by little it will go away. And lastly, I've brought an extra tip that will really help you lose weight faster and live better. Now that you understand that the calorie deficit is the key to losing fat, I'm going to tell you a secret that many people forget. Drinking water can speed up this process. Yes, something as simple as drinking more water can help you burn more calories and lose weight faster. But how does this work? First, water is essential for metabolism, which is nothing more than your body's engine, responsible for turning food into energy. If you don't drink enough water, this engine can slow down, and that means your body burns fewer calories throughout the day. Now, when you drink plenty of water, this engine works better, and you burn more fat without even realizing it. In addition, drinking water also helps reduce hunger. Often, what you think is hunger is actually a lack of water. Water brings a feeling of fullness. If you're someone who's always hungry, you can be sure that this hunger is actually dehydration. So the next time you feel like snacking, try drinking a glass of water first and wait a few minutes. You'll be surprised by the difference it makes. And there's more. Remember we said that fat leaves the body through breathing and urine? Water helps with this process, making it easier to eliminate waste and toxins. The more hydrated you are, the faster your body will get rid of the stored fat. In other words, drinking water isn't just a detail. It's a powerful strategy for those who want to lose weight. So let's drink a glass of water right now. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because here you will always find the truth without deception and content that will really help you achieve your health, well-being, and weight loss goals. You deserve to take care of yourself, to feel good with your body and your life. I'm rooting for you and can't wait to hear about your progress. Remember, you are amazing. A kiss. May God be with you, and see you in the next video.